Day 44 is AWS quietly checking whether you understand production ML governance, not ML research. This is about the MLOps surface area around models once they're alive, versioned, deployed, and audited. Think less, how do I train a model? Think more, how do I ship, monitor, explain, and prove it behaved? Day 44, SageMaker, MLOps surface area. Big idea, one sentence. SageMaker isn't just training, it's the control plane for deploying, versioning, monitoring, explaining, and auditing ML models in production. And yes, this applies even if Bedrock exists. 1. JumpStart. Don't start from scratch. Amazon SageMaker JumpStart. What it is: a catalog of pre-built models and solutions. Includes foundation models, traditional ML models, ready-made notebook pipelines. What it's for: exam framing, fast prototyping, standardized starting points, reducing time to deploy, exam signal quick start, pre-trained, starter solution, JumpStart. Not for custom research training, fine-grained experimentation, deployment patterns, how models go live. This is very exam-heavy. Common SageMaker deployment patterns, real-time endpoints, low latency, synchronous inference, asynchronous endpoints, large payloads, long-running inference, batch transform, offline processing, no endpoint kept alive. Exam signal, low latency API, real-time endpoint, large files minutes long, async endpoint, nightly scoring, batch transform. Number 3, Model Registry, Versioning and Approvals, Governance Gold, SageMaker Model Registry. What it is: central registry of model versions, tracks, model artifacts, metadata, approval status. Why AWS loves it? It answers: which version is approved? Which is in production? Who approved it? When was it promoted? Exam signal, approval, promotion, model versioning, model registry. If an answer deploys models directly without registry in regulated systems, wrong. None of 4, Model Monitor. Drift detection in production. Amazon SageMaker Model Monitor. What it does: monitors data drift, prediction drift, schema violations, compares live traffic versus baseline. Why it matters: models don't fail loudly, they decay quietly. Exam signal, detect drift, monitor inference data, model monitor. Not for training, evaluation metrics alone. Number 5, Clarify, Bias and Explainability. Amazon SageMaker Clarify. What it's for: detecting bias in training data, predictions, explaining predictions, feature attribution. Exam framing, fairness, explainability, bias detection. Clarify, important nuance. Clarify explains models, not LLM reasoning text. Number 6, Ground Truth and A2I, Human in the Loop. Amazon SageMaker Ground Truth, Amazon Augmented AI. Ground Truth, labeling training data, creating high-quality data sets. A2I, human review during inference, used when confidence is low, high-risk decision, compliance requires review. Exam signal, human review, manual approval, low confidence, A2I. 7, How these pieces work together, Exam Core. This is what AWS really wants you to see. You can see the code in our conversation history. This is MLOps, not experimentation. 8 AWS Static+2, why this day is +2, static, pipelines, approval rules, monitoring thresholds, bias definitions. +1, model execution. +2, auditor, regulator, risk team. You must explain what the model did, why it did it, whether it should still be trusted. Number 9, classic exam traps, very common. JumpStart is for experimentation only. Model monitor retrains models. Clarify fixes bias. A2I is for labeling training data. Model registry is optional in regulated systems. AWS tests intent, not syntax. 1 memory story, lock it in. The factory, JumpStart, pre-built machinery, deployment pattern, assembly line speed, model registry, quality approval stamp, model monitor, sensors detecting wear, Clarify, X-ray explaining decisions, A2I human inspector for risky cases. Factories don't hope machines behave. Exam compression rules, memorize. Fast start, JumpStart, version approve, model registry, detect decay, model monitor, bias and explain, clarify, human review, batch versus async versus real-time, deployment pattern. If an answer skips registry plus monitoring in prod, suspicious. What AWS is really testing, they're asking, can you operate ML models responsibly in production? Not, can you train a cool model? If your answer includes versioning, monitoring, explainability, human review, you're answering at AWS Professional MLOps level. Real-world end-to-end example. Fraud risk scoring in a bank, SageMaker MLOps. Scenario, a bank needs a model that scores each payment as low, medium, high fraud risk. Must be auditable, must detect drift, must support human review for risky, low-confidence cases, must support safe deployments, rollbacks, approvals. This is classic MLOps surface area. Number 1, start fast with JumpStart. They don't begin with research. They begin with a solid baseline. Use SageMaker JumpStart to pick a pre-built fraud-related tabular model template or a strong generic tabular starter. Customize training with their own labeled historical transactions. Why AWS likes this: accelerate time to value without reinventing the wheel. Number 2, get labels with ground truth, training data quality. Historical transactions aren't perfectly labeled. Some were never investigated. They create a labeling workflow in SageMaker. Ground truth. Labelers review transaction evidence and mark. Fraud, not fraud. Fraud type, optional. Output becomes a high-quality dataset for training. Exam signal, need labels/dataset quality, ground truth. Now muster 3, train and register versions in Model Registry, Governance Gate. After training, the model artifact is not deployed directly. They push it into SageMaker Model Registry with metadata, training data version, e.g. transactions 2025 Q4, feature set version, evaluation metrics, AUC, precision recall, code commit ID, then a reviewer sets approval status. Pending manual approval, approved. Why it matters: exam, versioning plus approvals plus promotion path equals governance. Number 4, deployment pattern choice. This is exam bait. Real-time endpoint, primary. Payments need low latency scoring, tens of ms, so they deploy in SageMaker real-time endpoint for synchronous inference. When the exam expects this, low latency API scoring. Async endpoint, optional. For large investigations, batch case enrichment, big payloads, they may also run async inference. Batch transform, nightly. Every night they run batch transform to rescore yesterday's transactions, produce investigation lists, generate baseline distributions for monitoring. Exam mapping. Real-time equals live scoring, batch equals nightly backfill, async equals big payload long processing. Number 5, protect risky decisions with A2I, human in the loop in production. Even a good model can be uncertain. They add Amazon A2I in the live flow. If score is high risk or confidence is low or rules trigger, e.g. unusual location, send to human review queue. Humans confirm or override the prediction. This does 2 things. 1, prevents bad automated decisions. 2, produces new labeled examples for retraining. Exam signal, human review and inference, low confidence, A2I, not ground truth. Number 6, monitor production drift with Model Monitor. Over time, fraud patterns change. New scams, new merchants, new user behavior. They enable SageMaker Model Monitor, captures inference data, features plus predictions, compares distributions to a baseline from training, detects data drift, feature changes, schema violations, prediction drift. When drift is detected, CloudWatch alarm triggers, opens an incident ticket, or starts a retraining pipeline. Exam signal, drift, monitor inference, model monitor. 7, bias and explainability with Clarify, compliance requirement. Regulators may ask, open quote, why did you flag this payment as fraud? Close quote. They run SageMaker Clarify, bias detection, e.g., does the model disproportionately flag certain groups? Depends on allowed attributes. Explainability, feature attribution for predictions. Unusual location contributed 40%, new device contributed 25%, merchant risk contributed 20%. Exam nuance, Clarify helps explain ML predictions, tabular classical ML, not LLM chain of thought. The closed loop lifecycle, what AWS wants you to describe. Here's the full MLOps surface area loop. 1, ground truth builds labeled dataset, quality. 2, train model, possibly starting with JumpStart. 3, register model in Model Registry, version plus approval. 4, deploy, real-time endpoint for live scoring, batch transform for nightly rescoring baselines. 5, add A2I for uncertain high-risk cases, human review. 6, enable model monitor for drift and schema monitoring. 7, use Clarify for bias explainability. 8, drift or performance drop triggers retraining, new version, registry, approve, deploy. That's the factory loop.